Hi peeps! I am so desperately sorry I am late, but it is Woke Wednesday and I am here and I hope that all of you will join me here as well. Folks, I am feeling absolutely and incredibly hopeless at this moment about our democracy, and I'm going to need to vent about it. So tell me in the comments section, folks, how you are feeling this week. You know the drill, drop an emoji. What's going on with you? How are you feeling? I'm feeling absolutely crazy. I just finished recording my opening for tomorrow morning with Woke AF, and because I like to stay ahead of the game. And I gotta tell you that I'm gonna have to start drinking in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna start drinking in the morning. That would be sure signs of a problem. But I feel that every time I get to Wednesday and I look at the myriad of headlines and I'm like, what am I gonna talk about? It's like, do you wanna talk about this pile of shit over here? Do you wanna talk about that pile of shit over there? Do you wanna talk about the steaming pile of shit directly in front of you? Like, it's like whack-a-mole with piles of shit in this country right now. Yesterday, I joked on Twitter, I'm really excited. Do you know why? Because my fucking passport arrived. I had to expedite it because I need it for a trip. And I'm just like, I need it for life. I want to be able to have the freedom to know that I can get the fuck out of here. I don't know where to go though, because white supremacy is like dictating my fucking travel choices and life. But like, my God, where to begin? We have a shipping crisis in this country. Have you been watching the news and see all the fucking ships that are just hanging out at sea while Jeff Bezos is going up into fucking space and taking Captain Kirk with him? And that's what's being covered all fucking morning on the news today? Really? That's what we're doing now? Like, I am so disgusted by the disgusting, like, obnoxiousness of it all. Everyone is hailing this new dick measuring competition as like the new space race. And I'm just like, they are wasting millions of dollars to go to the edge of space, right? It's not even real space. It's not space. It is the edge of space. Tens of millions of dollars, because you know what? They got it like that. Because they're at the top of the fucking heap. Meanwhile, us here on Earth, oh, I don't know, yet another fucking report about another town of black people that don't have fucking clean drinking water, right? Pretty sure that the people in Flint still don't have fucking clean drinking water. Then we have, oh, I don't know, all of these abortion clinics around the country that are being completely fucking overwhelmed, particularly around Texas, because, you know, there's a whole fucking ban there. I'm sure that those clinics could use some resources. What about child poverty? Pretty sure we could knock that out and Bezos would still be one of the richest fucking men in the world. But instead of us having real conversations about the real problems that are happening on Earth, we're celebrating, showcase their obnoxious fucking wealth that they get by not paying any of their employees. I'm just so, I watched it today. This wasn't even the topic for today's Woke Wednesday, but I gotta tell you that I turned on the news to learn something, right? To like see where we were with the fucking infrastructure bill, to see, you know, where we are with the Supreme Court hearings that are coming up. By the way, New York, if you're living in New York, guess what? Guess what we're getting ready to have? A bunch of fucking AR-15s and gun-toting motherfuckers all over our subways. You know why? Oh, because there's an important news story that's not being covered, which is an upcoming case that the Supreme Court is taking on to overturn an over 100-year-old law in New York. But you know, this 6-3 Supreme Court that we have right now, the fucking conservative Trump court, they're getting ready to overturn that. So while we're also getting ready to overturn Roe v. Wade, and we're also getting ready to overturn states' abilities to make up their own gun laws, recognize that this is happening with a Democrat in the White House and a Democrat-controlled Congress. So what are we learning here that no one ever campaigns on if you have a D by your name? That the fucking courts matter more than who the fuck is sitting in Congress. That the pretty much anything fucking else. But you know the one thing we never talk about? The courts. Do you know the only thing that that Republicans ever fucking talk about? The courts. And so thus, here we are. And for folks who think that what is happening in Texas and you're saying to yourself, whoo, I'm so happy I don't live there and I live in some comfy blue state, bitch, they're coming for you too. Do you know one of the things that Greg Abbott just casually said earlier this week? Right-wing, people about birth control. They said, yes, we're really happy with what you've done around abortion. But one of the biggest issues too is birth control. They're coming for that too. And every single state right now that is held by a Republican governor is getting ready to copycat that motherfucker. And when we lose in the 2022 midterms because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, not of his agenda to actually happen, then they'll do the same thing through, it's bad, friends. It's really, really bad. And I want everybody to recognize it. I'm not saying that the world is coming to an end, but I'm saying this country and our democracy, as you fucking know it, as you've gotten comfortable in, is actually coming to an end. Right? Like all of the rights and privileges that you thought came with being a citizen of this country, of, the world's beacon for democracy, slowly eroding. Do you know what else is happening? Oh, I don't know. The slow-moving coup, right? That Bill Maher talked about over the weekend. Perfect fucking name, by the way. You see, 1/6, which happened roughly 9 months ago, was their dress rehearsal. You see, because what we have taught them is that you don't have to be accountable for your bad behavior so long as you are white, right? That you're not going to go to jail if you try and overthrow the government. And if you do, you may go for a couple of months at most. We've done nothing to safeguard our Congress, to safeguard our elections, to safeguard our democracy. Nothing during this time. And instead, right, of how we thought that the world was going to come to an end in our world, in America, how we thought that America was going to be wiped off the map by, let's say, aliens or some major war or some huge terrorist plot. No, the terrorist plot is actually a domestic terrorist plot, right? That's what it is. It is the radical right's desire to have white Christian supremacy in this country, to be ruled by a hybrid model of kleptocracy, fascism, right? And theocracy. That's where the fuck we are headed. And instead of it happening all at once, like we thought it was going to, they're doing what Madeleine Albright once echoed and said about fascism. You see, fascism moves slow. She says, if you pluck a chicken all at once, people will notice. But if you pluck a chicken one feather at a time, it takes people a long time to recognize the plucking is happening. Well, we're being plucked and fucked all at the same time, friends. And no one is doing anything about it. It's almost as if Biden is president of an alternate universe, where he believes that Republicans are still his fucking friends, where he believes that you can negotiate over a glass of scotch and all will be well. It's crazy to me because you see, I scream all day long, every day. I feel like I scream into a black fucking void because I'm so confused with why Democrats right now are talking to me about an infrastructure bill. Mind you, it is important, but who the fuck cares about our infrastructure if we don't have a democracy anymore? Right? Who the fuck cares about bridges and roads when, we can't vote anymore? Or the fact is that our elections will look like they do in fucking Turkey and they'll look like they do in Hungary. It's the performance of democracy, but not actual democracy. The only thing that Democrats should have been fucking focused on since Biden took office should have been voting rights. And he should have been in fucking conversations with Kirsten Sinema and fucking Joe Manchin about either you're gonna get on board or we're going to fucking primary you. I don't understand where the fuck we are right now. I really don't. And the thing is that we all see this shit coming a mile away. So I'm like, what the fuck are they looking at? Are they looking at, Republicans from yesteryear thinking that they give a fuck about this country? Do you know what they care about? Cruelty. Do you know what else they care about? Punishment. Do you know who they want to punish? Anyone who isn't white, anyone who isn't straight, anyone who isn't male, anyone who isn't Christian. That is their fucking hit list. Do you know how we know that? Because of all of the fucking state pieces of legislation that are rolling out to attack those communities. Right now, funny enough, Biden's recent poll numbers are out, and they're trash, right? Biden right now is at 44% approval rating. Do you know why? Because he came into office saying that he was going to be our comforter in chief. Bitch, I don't need a comforter, right? I got a duvet. The fuck I need is a commander in chief that is recognizing that he is at war, right? That's what the fuck I need. I don't need somebody to go, woo woo, it'll all be okay. I'm not Trump and I'm not mean. Don't feed me bullshit. Also, can we talk about the fact that Joe Biden has deported about 7,000 Haitians back to a country that our country helped, gut economically and destabilize by inserting our own fucking presidents, like playing with their country? And then, just to remind everyone, the president was assassinated. They have a huge vaccination rollout fucking problem. And they just were gutted once again with another natural fucking disaster. But yeah, sure, let's send back 7,000 people without hearing their cases for asylum when you fucking came into office, Joe Biden, and told us that people have the right to request asylum. But as long as what? They're from the right countries that you guys like? It's one thing when you have Donald Trump tell us up front who the fuck he is, right? He says, oh, they're shithole countries. These people, I don't like them because I don't like black people because I'm a fucking racist, right? You know where you stand. So don't pretend to give a shit and then on the down low fucking deport people back to a country, right, that they have fled because we helped destabilize it. And you do nothing. You just fucking pretend that you are on the side of the people when you are not. You want to have conversations and fucking press secretaries tell us, don't believe your eyes. No, our Border Patrol agents weren't whipping and beating the Haitians at the border. No, that wasn't us. And somebody will be reprimanded. By the way, have you seen any breaking news about anybody from Border Patrol being fired for that? No. Do you know what they decided to do instead? Stop using horses, because that was the fucking problem. I'm telling you, sometimes I look around and I'm like, I don't really want to be a fucking Democrat anymore. I really don't. Because I don't like being on losing teams. I don't like being associated with weakness. I don't like the fact that the only thing that we're all running on right now is that Joe Biden isn't Donald Trump. That's not enough. That's why your poll numbers are dropping in the black community, in the Latinx community, and with women. Because you see, we all came out in fucking mass. We all did our job. We voted. We voted in the midst of a fucking pandemic. We went out in person and voted because we weren't secure in the fact that the U.S. Postal Service, which, is still being run by a Trumper, Louis DeJoy, who still, for some reason, Biden can't figure out a way to fire. And I'm like, sometimes this whole operating above board and following the rules, I'm like, how is it that Mitch McConnell never asked for permission for anything, but managed to get a whole bunch of shit done? And all Democrats do is sit around and, shake their finger and say, well, history will remember you. Well, really? Will history remember us? Because we don't actually teach that because, they're banning that as well. The teaching of anything about America that they don't like. So history actually won't remember. History will be written by those who win. And right now, it's Republicans that are winning. Oh, let's shame them. You can't shame the devil. And that's who you're dealing with. Right? I don't know what to tell people anymore. I don't know what to offer you all that seems encouraging. But what I can say, what you should do, you should really, really find something joyful to focus on. Someone, something, build a bubble around yourself that is about light, that is about joy, that is about self-care. Because everything else that is happening, dear friends, is going to get fucking worse. Like literally, every single day. It's going to get bad. Right now on my page, if you go, I posted a video of my friend and Daily Beast columnist, Rajahat Ali. He joined Woke AF late last week to talk about our slow-moving coup. To talk about the fact that he too is completely outraged, is too really worried about the fact that no one in power right now seems to be dealing with the threat that is facing us at all. We want to be talking about, legislation and policy as if anyone in this country gives a fuck about it. They don't. They want to feel safe and secure like you are fucking fighting for them. But we don't have fighters in this party. Unless you're talking about the infighting that is going on between progressives and these quote unquote fucking moderates. And they're not moderates. Friends, they're not. They are regressives. I stole that from Dr. Abdul El Sayed. They are regressionists. That's what they are. Don't call them moderates. Because there's nothing moderate about the way that our democracy is shifting right now. There's nothing moderate about the way that Republican governors are ensuring that their constituents are going to die from COVID-19 and are ensuring that women will be punished and thrown into the Handmaid's Tale. There's nothing moderate about their actions. So why is it that every time that we have an opportunity to make real critical change, we're always told to slow down and go at a different pace? The things that people came out to vote for, when they told us that they were going to have the George Floyd Act and do something about our police brutality problem. Well, what happened there? Oh yeah, those talks fell apart too. Because we were never going to do anything about policing in this country. We were just going to hope that everyone would forget about the 8 minutes and 50 seconds that they all collectively witnessed of a man being murdered in broad daylight. I'm just so sick and fucking tired of the apathy, of no sense of urgency, no call to action, no nothing. What I believe that we need to do, folks, and I'm serious, because I'm like, what do people pay attention to? What do politicians pay attention to more? It certainly isn't people without money, right? Like they're certainly not paying attention to the poor. They're certainly not paying attention to, people of color, LGBTQ. Like they're certainly not paying attention to that. But you know what they would pay attention to? An entire grinding machine. Do you know what they would pay attention to? A mass fucking call out. Don't go to work. Collectively, we should all just stop. And stop until actual legislation gets done. Being as how we're the ones that make this country move, what if we all collectively decided to say, yes or nah, I'm done. Let's all do, right, what Nicole Hannah-Jones did with the bullshit scenario that was going on with her tenure and say, how about this? I refuse. Until we actually have a Congress, have a president that is working for the people, right, and not working for the donor class, let's just stop. And I really believe this. I believe that is the way. It is, we need to grind this country, our flow, our economy to a fucking halt. Then they will pay attention. And I don't just mean for a day. I mean make it fucking hurt. Right? Everyone. Grocery store clerks, teachers, nurses, everyone. Just stop. Because you see, then they will see who actually has the power. They're supposed to be representing us. They're supposed to be working for us, not the other way around. But they're not. They're not giving us any of the things that we have asked for, any of the things that are needed, any of the things, friends, that COVID show us so clearly. What has changed? Tell me in the comments right now. Tell me something that has changed since Joe Biden took office. Tell me something. Do you sleep better at night? Do you have less anxiety? Are you less worried? Right? About putting food on the table? Are you less worried about sending your kids to school? I sure as fucking not. I'm not less worried by anything. My sleepless nights fucking continue. So if nothing in our lives has actually changed, what the fuck do you think is going to happen in 2022? Right? People are going to look around and they're going to say, you know what? New boss, same as the old boss. So might as well go back to the old boss. And then we'll watch things get worse. If Democrats don't wake the fuck up, if we don't force them to wake the fuck up, then we are going to watch everything that matters, everything that we care about fucking slip away. It's time for the people to take a stand, and I don't mean another goddamn march. Marches are great, but I mean direct action. They need to take a fucking hit. And the only thing that politicians care about more than themselves is fucking money. I think that it's time that we grind the economy to a halt. I think it's time that we all sit down until they fucking stand up and do something. Folks, that is it for me today on this Woke Wednesday. If you want more of moi, then head over to Patreon at patreon.com/wokeaf and sign up for $5 a month. $5, folks, and you get all of them. So please do support in /wokeaf. Until next time, dear friends, power to the people, and to all the people power. Get woke and stay woke as fuck. Bye.